Yo, what is up, loafers? This is Nanobread, and welcome back to day 18 of Stardew Every Day. Alright, spirits are somewhat annoyed today, so after I go collect salmon berries, because I think today's the last day of that, I will go fishing at the mountain lake again. Nice. More and more crops get finished. That means less and less crops I have to water. Pet the cat. Oh my god, has this bush been here the whole time? Man, I did not see that one. Alright, so there wasn't a topic in the comments for today, and I didn't really have like a particular one in mind. So what I'm gonna do is I'm pretty much just gonna talk about how my day went. Honestly, I feel like I've been going to sleep later and I've been waking up later because of it, and I'm not too big of a fan of that. Like that episode I recorded at like 2 a.m. This one, it's a little better. I'm recording it at like 12:10 a.m. But you know, I'd rather get all these done sooner. And I'm honestly not too sure why I don't. I think at the very least, like I'm not sleeping earlier just because I've kind of like conditioned myself to stay up. And even during those times where I do try to get in bed early so I can hopefully fall asleep earlier, it just like doesn't work, you know? Like you just like lie there for a couple hours and then like maybe when it's your normal time when you fall asleep, so for me that'd be like close to 3, sometimes 4, that's when I would actually go to sleep. And then because of it, I don't really get out of bed until a lot later, which I know one of the problems is that I have my phone with my alarm like right next to my head pretty much, like on a nightstand, so I could just like roll over and turn it off. So I know that's something I can change. I don't know though, because the few times that I have tried to do it recently, one time is successful and the others not so much. Like I would just turn it off and then walk back to my bed, and then I would go to sleep until like my usual wake up time, which has been like around noon. So it kind of sucks. Majority of my day is gone. I also haven't been going to the gym recently, which is another thing that I need to change. Just because I remember like the last time I weighed myself, I was like almost 200 pounds, if not a little more. And that's a bit of a concerning weight for someone of my stature. So definitely need to change that. I remember I did go for like a week straight, and then sometimes I would substitute the gym with like playing basketball. So that would be fun, and it would be like a good way to spend time with my girlfriend. But we haven't really been able to go recently just because she's been filling out grad apps, and I don't really want to bother her with that. And I know it's something that I can do by myself, but at least with basketball, I feel like a bit awkward going by myself, I guess. And I feel like the whole experience is just more fun to do with other people. Besides that though, I played a few games today. So like some of my classic games that I like to play, like Star Rail. I got my first 12-star clearance on one of the like routine endgame contents. So that was really fun. It's called Pure Fiction. And like there's other like different modes of it too that I haven't been able to like fully clear out, but we're taking a step in the right direction. A lot of the endgame content, it's geared towards characters that are like in the meta or whatever the current meta is. And like for Star Rail, it's currently Break Effect, which I don't have too many characters of. I do have the main ones like Firefly, and I recently just pulled for Rappa right before her banner ended, so that was really fun. I really like her design. I think it's cool that she's like a graffiti ninja, and I like her like FPS type like alt. Hi Leah. Fresh salads every day. Well, maybe if I go after you, I'll spend money on some salads to give to you. Oh yeah, just like a reminder to you guys too, if you guys want me to go after a certain NPC to like marry them or something, or if you want me to go after Krobus, just let me know, and then either the first comment I see, or if there's like a lot of them, whichever one is the most liked, that's the one that I will go for. Or if you give me a really compelling reason to go after the person you want me to go after. So funny story about Rappa actually. I was over at a friend's house playing Betrayal Legacy, like I mentioned a few days ago, I think at this point. And I pulled for Rappa then, and another bit of a backstory from that is this is the same guy where when I was trying to pull for Jinglu and her light cone. For those that don't know, Jinglu is a destruction character. So when I was pulling for her light cone, he helped me pull. And Star Rail does this thing with like a lot of gacha games too. They show off like which class the 5-star is from. So it showed me that it was from the destruction class. So I was like, oh great, he pulled the light cone for me. And then when it revealed what it actually was, he pulled me the Clara light cone, who is the standard banner 5-star character that is destruction. So I was incredibly mad at that, especially because that was the one that made me become not free to play in that game. And I wasn't planning to stay free to play forever. I was just seeing like when would be the first moment, and I was just a little upset that that was the first one. But then here's the real kicker, because that was like a year ago. So I was pulling for Rappa, and then I didn't look. I just showed him the phone, and I had him pull for me. And can you guess which 5-star character this man pulled? He pulled Clara. It was really like a full cycle. Last year when I had him pull to get me a light cone, he gave me Clara's light cone instead of the one I wanted. And now when I have a 5-star character that I want, he pulled me Clara to match with that 5-star light cone that he got me. It really came full circle, and I was so in shock that like that's how my luck turned out. That he got me the perfect set. Now, luckily with all the saving that I've been doing, it cost me quite literally every single in-game currency I had, but I was able to get Rappa and a 4-star light cone that was like not her best in slot, but it's like the free-to-play friendly one. I was kind of looking at getting her light cone too, but I just didn't have enough, and if I wanted to pull more, then I would have had to spend money most likely. But man, I was so frustrated with that man. We literally went to dinner afterwards, and I was just like, man, how did you do that for me? You know? Let me know down in the comments if you guys can like relate to that. Like if you guys had a similar experience. It doesn't necessarily have to be with gacha, but like if you guys have just ever had like that full circle like comedic luck moments. On top of that, I also was able to play some Nba2k. I've been doing an expansion team like just by myself, just because I wanted to not necessarily do a test run of what I would do for the series, but just to play around with some of the settings to kind of make the league more realistic. For those of you that don't know, 2K is a very, very bad game. The only reason why so many people get 2K every single year, besides if you're a content creator, is because it is the only good basketball game around. There's basically no substitute for it. For a bit of time, like NBA Live, not really comparable, but at least it was something else. So some people tried that, but then they don't produce NBA 2K games anymore, or NBA games anymore. So now 2K really just has no competitors. So they can pretty much do the bare minimum and get people to come and buy the game. And since there's no competitors, they usually don't fix any like bugs to the game. Now, if it's to one of their modes that gives them a lot of money, such as like My Career, then they'll go ahead and fix it. But for free-to-play modes, or like free-to-play just because you don't have to spend any extra money on like VC, which is the virtual currency, such as my NBA, which is the stuff that I like to play, if there's ever a bug in there, you're most likely going to be seeing it for the rest of that game. Like they just won't patch it just because it's not worth their time or their money. And right now there kind of is one First of all, I feel like the gameplay in general is just a little too unbalanced. I think I'm just bad at the game as well, but I feel like when you're on offense, it is a lot harder to make shots. And then when you compare it with the CPU, if you basically play the same defense that they play on you, they still make everything. Like, if you have a hand in their face, if you jump to contest them, they still make the shot. It's just like you're not even there. But if there's a person even remotely in my vicinity, and it doesn't matter like how well it's timed, or if I'm doing a layup too, even if they're right behind me, and when I do that, it doesn't affect them. But when they do it, my god, am I missing that so atrociously. Now, jump shots, I get it. That's just also my fault, because I'm playing on a mode called high risk, high reward. And that means like you have to get a perfect release, otherwise your shot won't go in. It does give you the biggest screen release window, so that's like a benefit to it. And honestly, I do kind of like that part. But the groundbreaking bug, and this is really annoying, especially when you're trying to do challenges, is that the game will just randomly create their own defensive settings, even if you already have your own in play. And the most annoying one. So I'll give an example. Let's say I'm the Golden State Warriors, right? Their starting five in real life is Curry, Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, or now it's not really, but at the start of the season it was Curry, Wiggins, Kuminga, Green, and Trace Jackson Davis. And then let's say I'm playing against the Lakers, and all that's really important here is that their center is Anthony Davis. Now sometimes 2K will just randomly decide to make Anthony Davis guarded by Steph Curry, even though that is a horrific matchup that would never happen in real life. Now obviously the easy fix is you just go ahead and change everything back, but that would mean that you would waste like a single possession that Curry was put onto Anthony Davis, because they're most likely going to score that time around. And especially when you're trying to do challenges where you're trying to win by like a certain amount of points or more, it can get really hard and really frustrating. Like I hope to God that they fix it, but I know that they probably won't, and that's okay, because we kind of have to be. Another solid day of fishing and a solid last day of salmon berry season. I averaged like 20 berries every day. That's not terrible, especially since they just need to last me until fall, when it's time to pick blackberries. Alright, this is everything that I'll be selling. Did I already pet you? Yes, I did. Damn it. Alright, and with that, that is an end to another video of Stardew Everyday. Thank you guys so much for coming by and watching. Feel free to leave down in the comments, like if you guys have ever felt that frustrated by a game, or times where you even like overcame that frustration. Alright, and with that, I wish you guys a good night, loafers.